This is the Artist Entrepreneur Podcast. We are your hosts, Amanda Ritchie, Noah Dock, and me, Kerry Wee. We're three artists brought together by the love of circus and dance. Amanda from the world of Cirque du Soleil as an aerial soloist. Noah, our academic, and me from the commercial dance world. This is one of the greatest jobs in the world, but it comes with uncertainty. Each episode contains insight on how to pursue art-based businesses. We'll have a variety of guests and have lively weekly Discord. Tune in every week to hear our perspectives on the minefield that is the artist's way of life.
How are you, sir? How is it up there in Mammoth?
It's good. It's nice. It's cooler.
Is it warm? It looks very warm on your face.
No, it is. What it says, it's 55 degrees.
Oh, that's so refreshing.
It's actually, yesterday was really cold. Yesterday was like 40 degrees and windy.
Is that even nice when it's that cold?
I mean, it's better than 105 in Los Angeles.
Okay, so for the listeners, hello. I know it hasn't, I've choreographed it so that we have not actually skipped a beat on this podcast, but I feel like we have skipped a beat because I was in Miami, you're in Mammoth. It took a second. Anyways, so I feel like I had a little bit of a breaksies, and it's a mixed bag. I want to ask you how you're doing because if I just launch into my story, it'll take a half an hour. So
see, but that sounds good to me. I'm ready to hear about Miami because I've just seen videos and social media posts and you hanging on the side of a ship, you know, with your legs in the water and you know.
Did it look magical? Because it felt magical.
Playing mermaids, but not playing mermaids.
I got to premise this with something that my friend told me this week. So in Miami, there are two aerialists that I know who I ended up seeing. You have to go and you have to close the door. Mike Kramer and Michael Lapari. Do you know these names by any chance? Okay. So they're LA aerialists who moved to Miami because they both at different times got this amazing job with Celebrity Cruise Lines being the aerial director for their shows. They both stayed in that job for years, and it's like a 9-to-5 aerial creative job. Like it's a dream job. There's not very many out there like that. So Michael was teaching in the studio that I was actually using their space in. That the place I had a partnership with is Acrogravity Academy in North Miami, and he teaches there. And then the aerial community is so small there that I was there and was like, I don't know. It seems like Vegas, but even smaller. Like the aerial community is just tiny. And when somebody comes into town, it's like, oh, this person's in town. Let's make an effort to see each other and this and that. So Maya came and so Maya Kramer, who I'm going to have on this podcast, she is currently the aerial director for Celebrity Cruise Lines shows. And what they do is for 8 weeks, they'll have a cast or two casts. And they already have the show written, created, choreographed, and they teach them and they rehearse them until they're ready to go on their 6-month or so contract. And so they're just rinse and repeat. But when she came to see me, so I'll catch you guys up on her later in person. But since I've seen her, she's moved here, she has a job, she got married, and she says to me, she's like, from your Instagram, you look like you are thriving, like 100% thriving. And I was like, girl, I'm so glad it looks like that because I am sinking. That's what I had said to her.
Social media is a lie.
Social media is a lie. And it's a highlight reel, not life, because my life in the last 3 months has felt like I'm a dead anchor of weight just sinking to the bottom of the ocean because of my hormones, because of where I am in my life, because of my age, because of mostly my hormones, and because my diet. Okay. So.
But.
It looks great.
It looks great. And you went to Miami.
Yes. So I told her about this and she was like, well, whatever you're putting out there is working because it looks like you're thriving. And are you not, even though you feel that way, are you not producing however many podcasts, having 2 jobs, momming? And yes, of course. Of course.
Right. Just because you're, critical of yourself doesn't mean that it's not actually good.
Yes. Yes.
I hear that.
I'll give you my version of things and then maybe reality. Because
Okay.
when I start feeling like this, I feel insecure. And so from all the things that people are telling me, like when you host a retreat by yourself like this, I don't know any person who doesn't get a little bit concerned about everybody being happy. Like I want everybody to be happy and satisfied and
Sure.
blah, blah, blah. So from what people told me, they were satisfied, but I'm just like hyper focused on serving their needs. And
Sure.
so I do what I can to do that. And probably because I'm so aware of it, I actually am serving their needs because I'm like giving polls out. I'm like polling for tomorrow. What do you guys feel like? What apparatus? Do you want to learn more? Do you want to review more? What do you need help with? So I was doing all that, trying to some degree keep up with my 30-some-year-old students who are wanting to party in Miami. Now I didn't party in Miami, but I did go to karaoke.
You didn't go party? You didn't go to 11? You didn't go to Space?
Are those clubs?
I cannot confirm nor deny.
What is that?
It's sand.
Bean, please don't get that everywhere. There was a couple places where Maya was performing. She was performing at a place called Queen Club or whatever. It was a restaurant. And I was like, yeah, maybe we can come. And I looked up the tickets. They're like $200 each. I was like, no, thank you. But I am with you in spirit. So a couple things. Aerial Sailing Miami, which I will have on this podcast as well. I will tell you, Noah, I thought of you on that boat because when I was in that harness, I found the magic again.
That's good.
And
that's a nice feeling.
Can I tell you that the epiphany was two-sided because I didn't realize I had lost it in the first place until that moment. What do we do with that? Because it's not like that experience is very accessible to me all the time. Does it matter that I can't do it more than once, or is it just important that I felt it that one time?
No, it's again to discuss my thesis on losing magic is when you do it every day, you forget that 99% of the world never sees it. And you get to do this thing that so few people ever get to experience, see, participate in, all of that. And so you forget that this thing is weird. You forget that this thing is unique. You forget that this thing is magical. And then you do something that is unique and weird and magical within the thing that is already unique and magical. And then your brain goes, oh, this is magic. But the training is in trying to remember that magic and trying to remember that the way that you felt while hanging off the side of a boat, in your harness, touching the water and all that, that magical feeling is the feeling that everybody else feels every single time they step into your class or they meet with you or they see you perform. And you have to remember that it's always magic. Even though you do it every day and we forget it because it's part of our everyday, we have to remember that feeling, that magical moment is how everybody else feels all the time. And we need to try and remember that, try and be there.
Well, and that's going to be the moment that I always borrow from when I'm feeling that way, because even the next day in studio, I'm like, the thing where it gets me the most is where I feel when I'm not feeling magic, when I'm in the studio, I can't imagine how they're feeling magical because I'm not feeling magical because I'm slinging footlocks all day long. right? I'm teaching a footlock. I'm teaching a footlock. I'm teaching a child who is 7 years old how to climb, who's whining about it. You know, it's like, it is not a surprise to me that I lose the magic in my everyday of this.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Before you get out of the car, you know, put on your pants, whatever it is, before you go to teach, what do you do? What do you think? What do you? And I'm just gonna ask that. I'm probing it a little bit, but what do you do?
I don't know. I don't know if there's anything ritualistic that I do. I don't dread it. I don't go in there and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to sling footlocks for another hour and a half. I don't do that, which I'm grateful for. Sometimes I can feel like that about pilots. But
okay, but what do you do?
I don't know if I can answer that question. I get out of my car and
do you take a deep breath in? Do you close your eyes? Do you take a moment and go, okay, here we go. Do you do that?
I don't need to do that all the time. No.
Not all the time. But you
not
do
all
do
the time.
Sometimes.
No, I don't have to like pep myself up for it. I'm usually pretty happy to teach.
You're pretty pepped already.
I'm pretty okay. Like I'm more than 51% okay when I go into the room to teach. You know what else is affecting me? And this is just like point blank honesty. As I get older, and this has to do with my diet too, because the biggest thing that affected me this week and the last couple weeks is that my change in diet, I believe more than the hormone problem, has tanked me in the fatigue sense. Like with your diet, do you go through fatigue because when you take sugar and carbs out?
You know, I don't go through much fatigue. I go through like hunger spells where I'm like feeling like I'm not
satiated.
Like, yeah, like I'm not satiated, but I know that I am. Like I know that I'm physically fine, but mentally I'm like, God, I could eat like 3 more bowls of whatever I just made.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a ton of fatigue because most of what's in my diet is protein. So I don't feel a lot of fatigue. At the beginning I get a lot of cravings. Like the first 3 weeks I get a lot of cravings, and then somewhere around week 6 I'll get like just a hit of craving again. And if I succumb to the craving, then I'll feel fatigue. Then if I like get myself a pizza, after that pizza I'll be lethargic.
Right, because you'll like go through a blood sugar crush or like
totally
spike and then down. So what I've learned over the last 2 months, yes, Bean, I see you. Hey, don't bother me while I'm recording. Is that, which is kind of hard. I need to have carbs in the morning, which means that I have to do a lot of planning around it. But I went through that workshop with having very low carbs in the morning, and I didn't survive it. And I'm not even feeling like I can't use, I feel like my muscles aren't even being used. I just have this overall fatigue. You just want to curl up in a ball and be on the floor.
I think, you know, not to sound too like dance teachery or like, I'm going to say college professory, but like your body really does tell you what it needs and what like you need to do. Even if it's not part of your normal system or it's not part of your normal regiment, it's still an important thing to listen to and then do or find a way around it. Now, I'm not talking about cravings to a certain extent, but like, I think there is some merit to like, oh God, I just watched this video. I just saw this video. It was an interview of Hugh Jackman. And he was talking about getting in shape to become Wolverine again. And he apparently, do you know the story? Do you know it?
I don't.
Apparently he called The Rock
Oh.
and he was like, I'm doing Wolverine again. I want the Wolverine to be ripped. What do you do? And The Rock gave him his regiment. He told him like what he does and what to do for the training. And one of the things he said is he was like, you're going to do, you're eating 6,000 calories a day or 4,000 calories a day. You're doing this workout, blah, 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 blah. But you must have a cheat meal. You have to have a cheat meal. Your body will tell you that you have to have a cheat meal. And apparently, like, the funny part of the story is Hugh Jackman, they were texting, and The Rock was like, send me your cheat meal. And Hugh Jackman he got like a burger and fries and a milkshake. And The Rock like texted him back with like 3 pizzas, 4 pints of ice cream, like French fries and chicken nuggets. And he was like, you're doing it wrong. He was like, your cheat meal needs to be this. A burger and fries does not cut it. So like I'm going to say that there are times where like listening to your cravings and like, oh fuck, I need something. Like when I get to that 6-week point, I need a slice of pizza. I don't need the whole pizza. I don't need the whole tub of ice cream, but I need a scoop of ice cream. I need a cookie. I need a piece of pizza, whatever it is. Listening to your body in terms of what it needs, those are sort of like I'm going to say the negatives of like the cravings, but like the other side of that is I'm up in Mammoth. I'm doing all these hikes. Part of my regimen and the way that I work is I don't really eat in the mornings. I get up, I'm not really hungry. I go to the gym, at like 10 o'clock after I do a little bit of work in the morning. I'm home by noon. Then I'll have lunch. Maybe between 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, that's when I'm having my first meal. The last 2 weeks, I've been hiking. I've been out. I've been moving. I've been working out. This morning and on Friday morning, I woke up at 6 a.m. to go on hikes. 6 a.m. My stomach was growling. My stomach was like, you need to eat something right now. I don't eat at 6 a.m. I do not eat in the mornings. That is not a thing that I do. But I was like, okay, I have to eat something. Like I'm starving. And I like shoved some yogurt in my face with some fruit and a muffin, and I'm good to go. And I'm set. And I'm eating at 6:30 in the morning, which doesn't make any sense to me, and it's not part of my regimen. It's not part of the way that I work. But when my body's like, hey, you got to do this. You got to do this in order to, feel better, to work out the way that you want to be doing the things that you got to do. You got to do it. You got to eat. And so like, yeah, when you're walking into the studio and you're like, oh,
like, I don't think I can pull this off. Yeah.
like, I can't pull this off. Like it doesn't matter what your regiment is. It doesn't matter like what the goal is. You have to do something. You have to listen to your body. You have to change it. And it's fine. Like, it doesn't have to be like, I'm not waking up at 6 o'clock every morning and eating at 6:30. Like I'm not having breakfast at 6:30 every morning. But like when I do those things, and if I'm feeling that way, I'm going to make the time to do it.
Yeah. And so if my A1C doesn't come down as fast as I would like it to, that's going to be here nor there, but I can't do life the way I've been doing it. Like,
right.
It makes me feel like, wow, how long can I do this career? And in reality, I can do it for way longer than I think I can. I have to feel good. And my body comes first, and in the way that like, apparently my body doesn't like 0 carbs and 0 sugar.
Who knew?
Who knew?
But you know what? I'm going to say this, that, and I don't know exactly your plan, but like, it's probably not that your body doesn't like 0 carbs and 0 sugar. Your body probably just doesn't like all of the terrible sugars and terrible carbs that is on the shelves at every fucking Costco and grocery store.
Yeah.
And if you change it, and if you and if you look at different sugars, and if you look at healthy sugars, and if you look at healthy carbs and things like that, like, then it might start to click a little bit more, so that your body goes, oh, okay, like this is way, like, I mean, if I eat out more than 3 meals in a row nowadays,
you're wrecked.
I'm wrecked. I can eat out one time, and then I need like
to go back and
I need 3 to 5 meals at home, because I just need to be the one who makes it.
Yeah.
I need to be the person. I gotta know what's in the food, and I know that, like, honey, fruit, maple syrup a little bit, I'm good. That is like, if
you guys should see the hand choreography happening.
I can survive on those sugars. The carbs, if I get some whole grain bread and I get some, lentil pasta, shit like that, I'm good.
I'm
fine.
Yeah.
But if I go out to, Osteria La Buca and I get fucking carbonara and split a pizza, don't talk to me for days.
Yeah, I mean, it really, like, coming into this conversation, definitely for me, the themes that I really like wrestled with this week were losing/finding magic, and having that new anchor point to go through as I sling footlocks every single day of my, and sling Pilates every day of my life. And then the idea of longevity, and how we as artists are getting through this and having that longevity in our bodies, minds, spirit, because now that I'm in a rhythm of like, oh, I have jobs, I'm doing the jobs. Amanda's in this position too. She has the jobs and she's just like pumping. She's pumping it out. Like, how to keep your spark and how to not get burnt out is, I mean, I kind of did what I needed to do. I went away for a week to kind of curb the burnt out that was happening.
Yeah.
But, it's not like I got time off.
And you never have time off.
Yeah. I was just doing something different.
That's the thing. There's never time off. And I've been thinking about that a lot. I've been thinking about, like, how do I get time off? How do you give yourself time off when... Right. How do you give yourself time off?
There's this huge list, or there's this stack of bills, and...
or there's just clients that, like, are used to having... Like, for me, I just have clients who are used to having me on call 24/7. And so, like, me calling a client saying, I'm going to be gone for the next 5 days. Like, I can't really do that. Like, it's really... Like, that's an impossibility. And so that's what I'm working on, to a certain extent.
Before we leave the topic of finding magic, I just wanted to tell you and the listeners the visceral feeling of being on that boat, off the side of that boat. The sun is coming in at you, and the way that they do it is that it's a sailboat, and they have to be sailing at a certain angle, and you have to be a certain height above the water for it to be right. So Gigi and Rodrigo, the people who run this, have figured it out, because basically they hit this angle. The sailboat, the wind is going into one end, and you're flying on the other end. And if they have the height right, when you lean over in a hip key, your hand can go in the water and you can get a spin. And the water is arguably too warm, was what the sailboat captain told me. It's global warming. There's all of this weird algae in Miami that they've been talking about. So it's like a 90-degree ocean, and that you're just flitting around in, and the hair is just whipping around you, and you're just bouncing off the side of a sailboat as it is moving at a certain pace. And the waves you're cutting through the waves, and the air is going, and it's a beautiful day. And I don't think I've experienced anything like that. Now, there was a element of it where it was static, where they anchored the boat and then you were in a hammock, a hoop, or a pole. And I could have taken or leaving that. That to me was like doing aerial anywhere in a beautiful location on a step.
Sure.
That to me was like great for pictures and stuff. But like, even if I had never gotten a video, because what they were saying is like, oh, is there a professional photographer? And no, you get the experience of it. The experience of it is what you're paying for. You're not necessarily paying for a video or a photo. That's what you get the after, because you have your phone on board. The feeling of it, how do I compare it to the first time I did aerial? The feeling of flight, maybe. Maybe the feeling of dropping, but not quite. It was magical beyond what I thought it could be. The idea of a sailboat, doing aerial off a sailboat.
It's awesome.
Do recommend if anybody has the opportunity. Now, there are very small opportunities to do this because there's a boat in Croatia that does it for retreats. There's one in Miami, and there might be one more in the world that we know of commercially.
Doing it in Croatia sounds pretty good. Is that where the next one's going to be?
No, we were just talking about who does sailboat aerial in the world commercially, and there's one group that does it in Croatia because you have to have the sailboat, obviously. We did talk about, like, would it even be possible for them to meet me in Nassau and do one in Bahamas? The problem with Bahamas is there's, to my knowledge, no aerial silks facility that I could rent from, but never say never, because I do need to do my research around that.
Have you done aerial in weird places?
Not really. Have you?
I have.
Like, for example, what do you mean by weird?
I've done aerial in like Yosemite off some trees and off some like climbing walls and things like that. I've done like aerial off a bridge. Like I did aerial off a sculpture, like a steel sculpture.
It's just a little different when you do a training. You know what I'm saying? Like, people.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's just a little different.
Well, it's not a thing that most people do. Like,
yeah.
Even aerialists, like they do aerial in the studio or in the theater. Like,
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people who are like running around with, span sets, like looking at big trees going, let's go do that.
No, so I have a lot of research to do because I don't know what next year is going to be. I know next year is going to happen. So I have to put a lot of thought into it. The last thing I want to say is we went to the show called Obsession at the Faena Theater in Miami. It's a cabaret show. It's the show to see if you're there. And I was lucky enough to get comp tickets to this quite expensive show. I think I got comped $160, $65 ticket times 4 for my friends, from Maya Kramer and her husband, Oscar. And it was Crazy Horse meets an aerial show. Lots of booty out, lots of thongs, lots of beautiful dancers, and an incredible straps act at the end that I'm pretty sure they had contracts with Cirque du Soleil before they had contracts there. And they just are now living and working in Miami, as well as being the other aerial directors over at Celebrity Cruise Lines. So there's a lot of dance work in Miami, kiddos, for cruise lines.
Oh, fucking Miami's the shit, okay? Anybody who wants to hate on Florida or hate on Miami, you're wrong. Miami's awesome. Quality of life, top tier. Food, top tier.
Yeah, culture.
Social life, culture, top tier. Location, you're on the fucking beach. Like, what's the problem here? Does it get humid? Yeah. Are there hurricanes? Apparently. I haven't been there during one. But, like, I don't know. It's a fucking... And there's no income tax, right? There's no income tax in Miami?
I think...
Or in Florida?
Same as Texas. I know. I know. So, dancers, if you are not the type who wants to be in LA trying to work for an artist like Sabrina Carpenter or Beyonce, and you want to work and travel, dude,
Man,
dude, get yourself in the roster for Celebrity or for Royal Caribbean. Carnival Cruise
100%.
Lines has a lot of work there too. There are dancers. Oh, we got to go see the rehearsal of that show that Maya is working on. She brought us in to see, like, they called it Office, where they produce a show in the dance space, and they brought friends and family to have an audience. So we got to see that. It was a very commercial show. It was for the club. A lot of sexy dancing, a lot of like singers singing, like what is it? Covers, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was an eventful week. What could have been better is me. I could have been better, not as a teacher necessarily, because I was normal as a teacher, but the way I was feeling inside of my body, I hope to never repeat that again.
I think that's a very productive way to look at it. And I love that you had a magic moment and you get to use that to fuel the low points for the next. It only lasts a couple months, but it's a good thing to be able to, like, remember. You just close your eyes, remember floating
Yep.
above the water. Okay.
Flying,
That's how
flying over the waves.
that's how all these people in their footlocks feel right now. Okay, let's do it.
Well, can I tell you, it would have been one step more magical had the universe brought it in for us, because the group that went 2 days before we went, when they were doing that, dolphins came to play with them.
Oh, that's cool.
Can you imagine? Wow.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So that's that.
I like it.
Noah, you're in Mammoth, and when it came to the shift in your environment, did that do anything for your brain?
Yeah, there's been some ups and downs since I've been here over the last 2 weeks. I'm not necessarily ready to discuss all of those ups and downs, but you know, I just the hiking has been so good. I didn't have a magical moment, but I definitely had a hearty moment a couple days ago. I got to go to a lake that I have had on my list for quite some time, and it was a chunky hike. And it was a chunky hike, and I got there, and it was just like it was just so peaceful, and I was just very at peace in that moment. No service, no cell reception,
No Wi-Fi.
nobody around me. I mean, I knew. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about how, not only how connected we are because of our phones and all that, but just like if you like stop and like think about like your radius, like if you think a 1 mile radius from wherever you are, and you think about how many people are in that 1 mile radius, and like how many connections there are, and how much is just expanding from and coming to that 1 mile radius. I mean, I'm in the mountains, I'm in this town. In a 1 mile radius, there's still several hundred people around me. There's all this going on. In LA, I mean, there's like thousands of people within a 1 mile radius of me at all times. There's so much going on. And then to be out there in the backcountry, knowing that I'm the only person in a 1 mile radius, and I don't have any cell reception, and I am actually disconnected. That, to me, is an incredibly peaceful feeling. So Yeah, I had that. You know, some downs. Trying to, in a very entrepreneur way, I'm trying to figure out some shit. I got some shit on my to-do list, and I got a lot of shit off my to-do list. And
So off that meaning you did it.
I did it.
Okay.
I I banged through a lot of stuff, and I got through a lot of things that, really needed to get done. And I cleared it. I cleared my to-do list. And that hasn't happened in a while. But
That's
in
very impressive, sir.
in clearing it, I'm now looking at things that in a different perspective, in a way that, how can I optimize what I'm doing, because I need to make more money, but I don't have any more time, and I want to utilize the skills that I have and the connections that I have and the resources that I have to try and build something that might be able to support what I'm doing a little bit more financially, and I can give a little bit more, intention behind the actual work of it, but it can run more productively. And that's what I am trying to do right now. And I'm mainly talking about my social media business. And then my second to that would be my the cocktail stuff, because I might be writing a menu for a restaurant up here. I'm going to find out that today. Um, and I have a couple more meetings with some other people about some other restaurants and opportunities. So we're plugging along, and I think the hardest part is the not knowing. I think that's the part that really like gets at me and eats at me, is like the like in between. Am I gonna get it? Am I gonna get this client? Is this gonna happen? Am I blocking off these dates? Are we doing this or are we not doing it? And I think
Mhm.
the waiting game and the sitting and the like trying to make that happen is what like kills me.
Mm.
And it makes me depressed, and it makes me feel like I'm not good, and I'm not working, and I'm not trying hard enough, and it's not happening. But when it does happen, there's a huge sense of relief. And if I can get a little bit more of that, like it's happening, it's happening. The next one is happening. The next one is like, if I can start to feel that a little bit, I think that would be really awesome.
It's so hard.
So hard.
It's so hard when it's slow, or it's so hard when you're not selling, or it's so hard when
Well, it's not. It's. I'll be honest. Right now, it's not slow. I'm not. It's not that I'm not selling. It's that I need to figure out how to build a machine that is constantly looking for and getting new clients and new opportunities. And in order to do that, I need more than just me. I need more than just me. I need a salesperson. And I know that I can be a salesperson, but I also know that I have my limitations with it. And in order to really, we've had so many conversations about like working the business versus working on the business.
I was just thinking that, because I have not been working on my business at all. I've been working in my business.
Yeah, and I'm working in the business right now, and I think I'm coming up with a new perspective of what the business is, and working on the business and what that could mean for the next steps. And that's just, and it'll cost money and it'll take some time, but if I can do it, it'd be great. So that's sort of my my challenges right now. Is that's what I'm working on. I'm trying to get the ball higher.
Get the ball higher. I like that. Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm in my business so much right now, and it's been months like that because when you can't do more than you've chunked off, it's impossible. It has felt quite impossible to work on my business. What's Sabine doing?
Looks like she's running.
Would you like to say hi to the listeners? Okay. All right. We're almost done, my love.
She's just making smiley faces.
You're just making faces
listeners.
for you. Getting the ball higher. Yes. I like the way you said that because I feel like I'm playing keepsy-upsies with the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not actually floating at all.
Right. So, you're just trying to keep the ball in the air. But it'd be really nice to just let it float a little. Let it float.
Let it float a little. Although I have to say, the one thing that the podcast does is it adds an element of float because it's content that people are absorbing and enjoying at their own pace without us being in the process with them. So I do believe that is there because it's the element that's the live version of what we do, of what I do. And that's why I will never let this ball hit the ground because it's probably the most important part of it. But look at this, what this child's doing. You know what I'm saying? So
I do.
How's your other podcast? Is it going?
Well, I'm not in town, but we have 10 episodes. I just need to start making some social media content out of them. And then we talked about starting to launch them in the middle of July. That way, we have about a 2.5 month runway that gets us to the middle of September. And
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you, and I'm glad you're in a more refreshing place than here in the Devil's Armpit, which is the middle of Texas.
I'm not a devil.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about
I'm so glad I'm not in Texas. I can't even tell you.
Our home is quite comfy.
I wish you were in Texas.
Oh, see?
Wow.
That's sweet.
I wish I was in Texas to see you, but I'm really glad I don't, have to be in the heat. I'm really glad that I can.
I wish you have to be in the heat.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You can find Amanda Ritchie at Grounded in Flight on Instagram and at Noah Doc on Instagram as well as Red Flags app. And me, Kerry Wee, you can find at wrapyourheadaroundsilks.com. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. We have so much more coming at you, including guests that are in this art world that are blazing their way through new businesses and, just more banter from us. Thank you for listening. This is The Artist Entrepreneur.